Hello, good afternoon. Anthony Asquith of Affinity and Dentcom Training 2016. Boom! It's the third video blog of the year so far, and currently have sold 102 books out there into the wide world. My goal is to do 10,000, so it's going to be quite an interesting project. I'm currently doing a lot of interesting things, like I've hooked up with one group to do video podcasts in the next couple of weeks, doing some book talks as well, and guess what? I'm approaching and getting into, I believe, EasyJet to try to market this book, particularly through their bistro and boutique services. So I've got a lot of things going on at the present time, about which I'm massively excited about. So I was going to do, if you recall, this video on sensitive people in the DISC personality profiling groups. And in fact, that was my plan. However, it has changed because I have something very interesting, very new and unexpected to talk to you about. You may be aware that in the past I've done videos entitled "Never Be Lied to Again, Ever." I have something brilliant for you. And those of you who know me kind of socially on a friendship basis will know I bought a new car quite recently. In fact, here is a picture of it now. And as you can see, it's a shiny, bright, smart-looking MGB TF. These vehicles are renowned also for one particular problem, which is head gaskets, and they cost around £600. When I went to see the dealer, I wanted their assurance that this would actually be evidence would be supplied to show that the head gasket had been replaced. As you can understand, it would make quite a difference on the actual value of the car. And sure enough, received a document which is fairly comprehensive, all the service history and everything else, and it also demonstrated the fact that the vehicle had been replaced by a company on the 1st of September 2015. So there I had a nice shiny sports car, full MOT, 11 months, and a relatively newly replaced head gasket. Boom! So I was excited. Took it out, drove it round for a couple of weeks, a couple of little minor things went on. It was okay. Started enjoying a little bit of the weather and just got on with it. Anyway, one conversation led to another. There was a couple of minor problems with the car, but it wasn't anything great I had to worry about, just getting on with it. Until I had a conversation about the fact that I was interested in maybe asking this particular dealer, would they be prepared to buy back the car off me for the purpose of me exchanging or considering another car. And the dealer suggested that they could offer me a purchase price of around £700, which is £500 less than what I'd paid for it 2 months ago, or 2 months previously. I suppose when you think about it, it is a motor trader that I'm dealing with, so they're naturally going to want to make a profit, and fair enough, why wouldn't they? The dealer then said to me, look, Anthony, in all honesty, perhaps one of the best things you might want to think about is, considering that the weather might be changing in the next couple of weeks, you might want to think about putting the car up on your driveway and putting it up for sale. It's likely, with the weather getting better and the sun coming up and the long evenings, you'll probably get somewhere, honestly, around about £1,200-1,500 maybe. That would be the best course of action. However, she'd lost me several seconds earlier when she used the words, speaking truthfully, speaking honestly. Suddenly my thought process was, well, hang on a minute, we've spoken several times and you've never said the words truthfully or honestly to me previously. Which then leaves my mind thinking about, well, what hasn't exactly this trader been honest about in the past? I didn't confront the trader at this stage, just left it quiet, because the important thing about the videos I've talked about in the past is that you must never confront someone you believe is lying until you have sufficient evidence. And if you want to watch any of the videos, you'll find a link below this video that you can go on to, and you can simply then obviously indulge yourself in a 20-minute sort of top up of how to understand when people aren't telling the truth. Really some great tips and ideas. So, cut long story short, I went off and did some research on the paperwork and spent a little bit of time looking at the paperwork itself, which all seemed to add up, except for the fact that the writing in the document was slightly different to the writing that was in the stamp itself. So I took time out to visit the particular garage where the head gasket had allegedly been replaced. And lo and behold, having presented them with the documentation, showed them the service book, what they actually said to me was, yep, the stamp is ours. We changed the oil filter and oil on the 1st of September, have never done any work on the head gasket, never been replaced by us, and that's not our writing, any of us in the garage here. Who has done this? So I explained it was a dealer in the local area. They told me that they didn't know the dealer, and I should spank their arses. They weren't happy about the misrepresentation, and come to think of it, neither was I at this point. Not that it was a particular shock, because I was already aware through the training and the insights that I'm hoping you'll pick up from the other videos that something wasn't right. So I approached the dealer and brought this to their attention. Now, I can only rely upon certain things, bits of insights of the behaviour profiling I know. When looking at certain behaviours around lying, you have to look at what normal people do. So what would a normal behaviour of someone who's telling the truth when confronted by a case of evidence of this nature? You'd probably expect them to, or I would expect them to respond with something like, no, the dealer is wrong, the garage are wrong. I have had that work done. It's probably in my office, or they may have made a mistake. I'll come back to you in a couple of days and I'll let you know what's going on, and you can update your records. That would be a normal behaviour for someone who's telling the truth. A normal behaviour for someone who's lying, however, is different. They will usually go on the attack, and lo and behold, what do you think the trader went and did? Started attacking me about the fact that I was upset at the price they'd offered, started attacking about the fact that I was wanting to change the vehicle because I was unhappy with it, and there were lots of, if you like, new arguments that were being put forward, mainly to do what liars do, is to distract you from the truth, to convince you that you're mad. I simply reiterated my main point that I wasn't angry about or upset or disappointed in the offer that the dealer had made. I wasn't upset about the way the car was particularly running. It's an older car. But what I was particularly frustrated by was the lack of evidence to show that this head gasket work had actually been done ever. I then went back to the garage a couple of weeks later and picked up another document which they simply indicated that they have never done the head gasket work, full stop. I was then suggested to me that by a legal advisor to go and speak to a solicitor, see what they had to say. The solicitor looked at the paperwork and in a nutshell simply said, for a trader to do this, it's a disgusting fraud, and I should maybe take them to trading standards as well as pursue the case through the small claims court. There was certainly no doubt in his mind that this document had been potentially misrepresented, the car had been misrepresented, and he felt that as a proceeds of potential criminal investigation, I had a very, very solid case. So at the present time, I've submitted the information both to the small claims court and trading standards, who've indicated they may have a particular interest in interviewing this dealer under caution. So what's this all about? Look, the real bedrock of this is people lie. We all do it. Some people lie 10 times a day. Other people lie more. Some people lie less. I know I've told 2 lies, 2 small white lies today myself, independent of what's been on the video. Not to deceive anybody, but just to save social graces, to save social airs. We sometimes lie to protect ourselves. We lie to ingratiate ourselves towards other people. There's lots of little things we do to, little white lies, as it were. And none of these in themselves are harmful. In fact, they're often more a way of helping people in their relationships. But what's interesting is when you get into situations where money is at stake, emotions commitments to relationships are part of the process. Where lies exist in those situations, it's a different ballgame. So I urge you to take 15-20 minutes, not all at once, but 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and the short 4 or 5 videos I've recorded previously, to watch them. And from those you will find, by the end of it, you will be much better armed, much better forewarned to spot when people aren't being upfront, truthful and honest, which is what we all would like to have happen in our lives. People being straightforward, talking and saying the things they say and really meaning the things they mean. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video. Please, as I said, do feel free to watch the other 4 videos. The link is below and you can watch those. And of course, remember that I've got a book now available on Kindle, £4.49, and you can order the paperback copy at £6.99 plus postage and packing. Thank you very much. I'll be emailing you with the next video on sensitive people, as I mentioned, in the near future. Cheers again. Bye for now.
Ele não vai mais dobrar, pode até se acostumar.